എടാ സംഭവിക്കാനുള്ള സംഭവിച്ചു. നീ ചെന്നാ ഷൈനി ഹാൻഡിൽ
ഇത്തിരി വള്ളിക്കെട്ടായല്ലോ.
എനിക്കിട്ട് പണിഞ്ഞതല്ലേ.
ഒരു ദൈവതുല്യനായി വന്നിരുന്നത് നമ്മളുടെ ഒരു മലയാളിയായിരുന്നു, മേജർ സന്ദീപ് ഉണ്ണികൃഷ്ണൻ. ഇന്ന് അദ്ദേഹം നമ്മളോടൊപ്പം ജീവിച്ചിരിപ്പില്ല.
So the seventh time we were in Sandeep Vihar, the building named after him. When auntie said, Sandeep lag raha hai.
Okay. ലിഫ്റ്റിലേക്ക് പോകുന്ന സമയത്ത്. Oh, that's great.
So that's when I knew. I got tears in my eyes. I went and hugged her. There are Mohanlal fans, there are Mammootty fans. I'm a major Sandeep Unnikrishnan fan.
All right. And that's it.
എല്ലാ അമ്മമാരും ഇങ്ങനെ ആലോചിച്ചാലോ.
Only they would talk about his last 36 hours where he saved hundreds of people. His fellow soldier was injured.
Okay.
So he carried him on his shoulder for 1 or 2 days.
All right.
All the girls had a crush on him.
Oh, I see.
In fact, once uncle came home and when he saw there was like 50 chappals of girls in front of the house.
Okay.
Make a real movie about our heroes. Why are you faking it? Adding masala. His life had so many amazing cinematic things like that. Because she has another family now and it was Amma's wish that we not disturb the privacy.
You're putting your body into turmoil.
I was, and I got hospitalized twice.
You got into hospitalized?
Yeah,
oh my
I
goodness.
got dengue. I was hospitalized for 15-18 days. Do you know what he's doing? You know, the GC asked him. They said, what? I said, he's hiding puppies under his bed and taking care of them. And they were congratulating me and crying. And he was trying to get up and actually salute.
Oh.
And he was talking. He's like, you did it. So
And this is my personal interest. I really wanted to see it.
this is after the National Security Guard in Mumbai saw the movie.
Okay.
They gave me a medal
All right.
because they loved the film so much.
ജീവിതത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും കിട്ടാത്തൊരു ഭാഗ്യമാണ് ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ. And like I'm blessed to hold it. നമസ്തേ എവരിവൺ, ഞാൻ ദക്ഷ രവീന്ദ്രനാഥ്. ഇന്ത്യ ഗ്ലിറ്റ്സ് മലയാളത്തിൽ ഇന്ന് നമ്മളോടൊപ്പം ഉള്ളത് വളരെ വളരെ സ്പെഷ്യൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു ഗസ്റ്റാണ്. നവംബർ 26, 2008 നമ്മുടെ ലോകത്തെ മുഴുവൻ നടുക്കിക്കൊണ്ടുള്ള ഒരു തീവ്രവാദി, ഒരു ടെററിസ്റ്റ് അറ്റാക്ക് നടന്നിരുന്നു നമ്മുടെ മുംബൈ. അന്നവിടെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന അനേകം മനുഷ്യരുടെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ ഒരു രക്ഷകനായി, ഒരു ദൈവതുല്യനായി വന്നിരുന്നത് നമ്മളുടെ ഒരു മലയാളിയായിരുന്നു, മേജർ സന്ദീപ് ഉണ്ണികൃഷ്ണൻ. ഇന്ന് അദ്ദേഹം നമ്മളോടൊപ്പം ജീവിച്ചിരിപ്പില്ല. എന്നിരുന്നാലും അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ മരണശേഷം, അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ വീരമൃത്യുവിന് ശേഷം ഒരു പതിറ്റാണ്ടിനിപ്പുറം അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ജീവിതകഥയെ ആസ്പദമാക്കി ഒരു ചിത്രം വരികയാണ്, ഒരു പാൻ ഇന്ത്യൻ മൂവി വരികയാണ്, മേജർ. ഈ ജൂൺ 3 ചിത്രത്തിന്റെ റിലീസ്.
ഇന്ത്യയെ ആർമിയൊക്കെ പേടി തോന്നടാ. നിനക്കെന്തെങ്കിലും പറ്റിയ?
സന്ദീപ് ആർമിയിൽ ചേർന്നത് എനിക്കിഷ്ടമായിട്ടല്ല.
അന്നുണ്ടായ അറ്റാക്ക് മാത്രമല്ല എൻ്റെ മകൻ. അതിനും എത്രയോ മുന്നെയാണ് അവന്റെ കഥ തുടങ്ങുന്നത്.
ആ ചിത്രത്തിൽ മേജർ സന്ദീപ് ഉണ്ണികൃഷ്ണനായി എത്തിയിരിക്കുന്നത് ആദിവി ശേഷാണ്. ആദിവി ശേഷ് നമ്മളോടൊപ്പം വേണ്ട. ലെറ്റ്സ് വെൽക്കം ഹിം ടു ഇന്ത്യ ഗ്ലിറ്റ്സ് മലയാളം. ഹലോ.
നമസ്കാരം.
നമസ്തേ. I can see that you have a very genuine love and interest towards Sandeep Unnikrishnan's family because just before the take, നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഇത് എടുക്കുന്നതിന് തൊട്ട് മുമ്പ് മാറി നിന്ന് അദ്ദേഹം സംസാരിച്ചിരുന്നത് സന്ദീപ് ഉണ്ണികൃഷ്ണൻ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ അമ്മയോടാണ്. I could see that like you call her Amma, right? Okay. So how is she? How is she feeling towards the release of the movie?
That's why she called. She was like, how is the Kerala media talking to you? Are they happy with you?
Okay.
I think she's protective of me. So she's asking me if I presented myself properly
All right.
to the media.
Okay. So I can see that like she sees you as like her son.
You know, that's a very tricky space because
Okay.
I don't think I can ever replace Major Sandeep.
Sure.
And I'm not nearly as great as he is. But I think I can be a second son for sure.
That's nice. So I know that like you have put in a lot of efforts. ഈ ഒരു ചിത്രം നടക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്, ഈ ഒരു ചിത്രം ഈ ഒരു രീതിയിൽ വരാനായിട്ട് you have put in a lot of efforts, right? So and like you have put in a lot of efforts mainly into convincing the parents for their permission. So we would like to know more about how you convince them to do it.
Well, I said it in the press meet, but I'll say it again because we're talking one-on-one. So when I first called uncle, he said no and hung up.
Okay.
Called second time, I said no, and he hung up. The third time we had a girl call. So
All right.
He was like, Amma, and he started talking to her. When I suddenly snatched the phone, uncle, please, I need to meet you.
Okay.
So when we went there, you know, they were very skeptical. It took 7 meetings, and each meeting we're talking about spending a day or 2 with them.
All right.
Until they started feeling a little bit that yes, maybe we are genuine,
All right.
we are sincere.
All right.
So the 7th time, We were in Sandeep Vihar, the building named after him. It's where Sandhya, his cousin, lives. And we were leaving the apartment, and I'm standing at the lift when auntie said, Sandeep lag raha hai.
Okay.
And-
ലിഫ്റ്റിലേക്ക് പോകുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഓ ദാറ്റ്സ് ഗ്രേറ്റ്
So that's when I knew. I got tears in my eyes. I went and hugged her. And the rest, as they say, is why I'm here.
All right. So may I know what is the reason, what is the exact reason why you wanted to take this biopic? What was the thing that
See,
made you want to take a picture on him, a movie on him?
There are Mohanlal fans, there are Mammootty fans. I'm a major Sandeep Unnikrishnan fan.
All right. And that's it.
I think as a fan, I knew so much about his life. Every birth anniversary, I'd find out one new picture,
Okay.
new clipping, new story about him somewhere, from a friend, from a fellow army officer, from a superior, something. Somewhere I wished that the public knew. They didn't. Only they would talk about his last 36 hours where he saved hundreds of people.
To that.
So I thought, how come people don't know about the beautiful 31 years that he lived before that? So once I became an actor and I got my own fan base and my own following, I thought people need to know. So I was very careful and I approached his parents.
All right. Okay. So I can see that like you have put in a lot of efforts into finding out his real life story as well. And like many things I have heard you quoting in another interview that like certain 4 or 5 incidents that have opened over the years have been crashed and made into one incident, right?
Yes, that's
So is there any specific incident that actually you wanted to include in the movie but like you didn't due to some reason?
Yes. Once when they were in the middle of an operation in Kashmir, his fellow soldier was injured.
Okay.
So he carried him on his shoulder for 1 or 2 days.
All right.
Just carried him in the snow.
All right.
The thing is, in our film, the Kashmir episode is important, but it's not so huge. So we couldn't show it.
Okay.
But it was an incredible experience. And hearing it was just so shocking.
Okay.
And shows that veeratvam,
Okay.
And it was very normal for Major Sandeep to do things like that.
Okay.
So, every experience we heard about Major Sandeep or read about Major Sandeep, it'd be like, this has to be in the movie. Come on, how can you not put it? But then there's so many beautiful and amazing things he did that we couldn't put everything.
Okay. So like ഞാൻ പറയുന്ന കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ like he's not that the brave soldier only. He has a fun side to him. And like he has a love side to him and everything.
He's a simple guy. Beautiful, beautiful. Friends called him Sandy.
Sandy.
Loved English action films.
Okay.
Schwarzenegger fan. All the girls had a crush on him.
Oh, I see.
In fact, once uncle came home and when he saw there was like 50 chappals of girls in front of the house.
Okay.
And he went in like, what's going on? Who are all these people? And
Okay.
apparently the girls in the school had heard he's getting married.
Oh.
So they all came to convince Amma that she shouldn't get him married.
Goodness. Okay.
So these actually happened. And when you put these in a movie, people will say, come on, you're doing
Drama.
hero worship. Make a real movie about our heroes. Why are you faking it? Adding masala. His life had so many amazing cinematic things like that.
Okay. So this scene is not included in the movie?
This is not.
Okay. Because of the worry that people would just call it dramatic.
Sort of. I think also when you're telling a story, you want to tell the right things that matter at the right time. So in 31 years, if you want to show everything, you have to make a 31-year long film.
All right.
So we showed some beautiful things in the film. They're even more beautiful than this.
All right. So there is this particular dialogue, it's a particular statement that he have actually quoted to his during his last 36 hours of life. And it's something that like actually like I've made all of us well up in tears. Do not come up, I will handle it.
Don't come up, I'll handle them.
Yeah.
That is last words. As I said in the press meet earlier, Mahatma Gandhi's last words were, Hey Ram. And Major Sandeep's last words were, don't come up, I'll handle them. And in that you can see that he always thought of the country first. It's just a way of looking at life.
Okay.
Imagine getting a haircut, an army haircut in 6th standard. The way he loved,
He always wanted to be into the army. He always wanted to be a soldier.
he always cared about the country.
All right.
The way he loved, the way he lived, the way he was a husband, the way he was a friend, the way he was a son. All of it, he thought about others first and then about himself.
All right. So in the trailer also I have heard that like he more than being a better son, more than being a better husband, all he wanted was to be a better soldier. Yeah. With each passing day he wanted to be a better soldier.
Yes.
So in the 6th standard itself he have had a Navy cut. So have you ever asked what made him wanted to join in the army? Like what made him such a big patriot at such a young age itself? Because at the age of 6, people would be like all over the cricket or with something certain silly stuffs like that. But
The same question you're asking me, I asked Uncle, and
Okay.
he ended up saying, listen, we all think about how India should fight at the border, or how India should win the World Cup, or how Sachin should do batting. So we're all patriotic.
all right.
Sandeep was more than that.
Okay.
He believed his job is to save all the patriots.
All right. Okay.
So they are one step above.
All right. No, that's what I'm asking. Is did he get this interest to save all these patriots out of a particular incident, or like out of a particular?
I
Did
think
he
in
have a role
movie-
model or something?
I think in a movie we require that, no? Like we want to show how something caused something to happen.
Yeah.
The truth is, I think he was born with it.
Okay, that's
I
nice.
think he was born with it. That ability to care about others at all times before he cared about himself.
Okay.
So one of the things Uncle said in an interview also, there's an English interview that he did, very popular one. He says, I wish I taught Major Sandeep to be more selfish.
Yeah, I've heard it. All right. So he's such a selfless guy.
At least when it comes to the country, yes.
All right. So, and like, okay, and now we are just going too serious. So let me just get your attention to his love interest. Okay. So I've heard that like from the trailer, I can see that like they were schoolmates.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
They grew up together, a beautiful love.
Okay.
We ended up changing her name because she has another family now. And it was
okay.
Amma's wish that we not disturb the privacy.
All right.
So we changed some of the things that happened between them also out of respect
Okay.
for Amma's wishes. So that is probably the only thing in the film that's a little different from
Okay.
what happened. We still try to maintain the soul
Okay.
of that experience.
But like you tweaked it a bit.
We had to
Okay.
protect privacy.
All right. I'm not asking about this particular thing, but like in many other times, you know, many biopics or like many historical based movies, we can see that certain parts of the history have been tweaked. Okay. So isn't that, I'm like people, you know, people like me, commoners who are quite gullible to believe the movies as such. We would just believe that the movie is real and that is the history.
I think we try
So-
to be very open. So if you look at our poster, from day one we said inspired by the life of Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan.
All right, okay.
We're very clear.
Okay.
We're not saying this is a shot-by-shot recreation of his life. It is inspired by it.
All right, that's nice. Okay, so now that we are like talking about the movie and about the patriotism, let me just ask, how would you define patriotism?
Oh, it's how I realized when I studied Major Sandeep's life. It's simple. A lot of people think patriotism is to think your country is better than others.
Yeah, I have heard it being quoted by, I think, George Bush, I guess, or some American, right?
John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
He said, John F.
American
Kennedy
president,
said,
yeah.
ask not what your country does for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Okay.
But
Some American president only quoted that, what you just said.
Yeah. So, but what I meant was, Deshbhakti. Today in our country, so many people speak about how we're better. We have better army, this, better that. I think Major Sandeep believed Deshbhakti is how can I make my country better?
All right. More constructive.
Or it's not about ahankaram. It's not about thinking you are better than others. It's about how do you make it better?
Lovely.
So I think that's the real patriotism.
Okay. So Adivi Sesh as a person, not as Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan, but as Adivi Sesh as a person, what would you say? I'm like, what are the things that needs to be changed in the current scenario so that we would become a better nation?
I think we all need to stop screaming on Twitter.
All right.
There's too many Twitter warriors, don't you think?
Seriously, we do that.
Too many people with an opinion. I mean, even I've given my opinion sometimes, but I think ultimately we need to all listen to each other more.
True that. So do you think that like we actually do have an intolerance here?
When I think about it from the place of where we used to be 500 years ago, we definitely are a much better place now.
All right.
When I think about whether we are better than we were at independence time, much better place
Definitely.
now. When I think about whether we are better than the 80s when everyone used to go hungry, we're in a much better place now.
All right.
So I think there's no doubt there's so many things that need to be fixed. But if you really step back for a second and look at it and say, okay, 500 years ago we're like this, independence time we're like this, in the 80s we're like this, we are living in a better time.
All right. That's good to hear, actually. Okay. And, sometimes, people mix up patriotism. See, even when we be patriotic, you just like how we caught it about Sandeep Unnikrishnan. He always had the wish to have a better nation, right? He was always thinking of what he could do to make his nation better. So sometimes even when people criticize about how the nation is going on, they might still be patriotic at the core. But however, sometimes these criticism about the nation or how the current politics and everything, people tend to criticize them, right? People tend to criticize them in a harsh manner, saying that like they're not patriotic and everything. So do you think the patriotic criticism is okay, or should it be abused and should it be like thrashed and all?
I think that's the problem. I call it a state of grace. Can
Okay.
we all behave gracefully? Can we behave decently? We can have differences of opinion. Maybe you support someone, maybe I support someone else, maybe you believe something should be like this, but can we respectfully disagree?
All right.
I think that's where I'm at.
All right, cool. Okay, so coming back to the movie, I've heard that like you have made huge body transformations for the movie.
I
so
did.
Can we just know about it? I'm like coming from 80 to 60 and then back to 70. It's like you're putting your body into turmoil.
I was, and I got hospitalized twice.
You got into hospitalized.
Yeah,
Oh my
I got
goodness.
dengue. I was hospitalized for 15, 18 days in the middle of the shoot. But I was at my fittest then.
Okay.
But fittest was nice to look at, but inside the body was struggling.
Oh, okay.
I got COVID. I was hospitalized for 10 days for that. But COVID wasn't my body issue. It's just the third wave.
Oh.
But I think for me the biggest thing was sort of trying to get his grace, because he had a very wide stance. He didn't stand like this. He stood like that.
Sorry, I didn't get
very
you.
wide stance.
Okay.
Like his legs would be like stand like
Oh,
this.
okay.
And very upright.
Oh.
And the way his voice it projected.
Right.
So to try and get that in every scene without making it seem artificial, you have to look natural doing it. That was tough.
All right. So I have heard like more than like screaming at a particular incident, like how Adivi Sesh or someone else would do. At every incident that would come through this movie, you would just call up his amma and would ask, Auntie, how would he behave, right?
I would, because I wanted to know what would he do, how would he react.
All right.
And Amma was very helpful that way, because she would say, sometimes what I thought was what would happen, but sometimes she would surprise me and say, no, he wouldn't be angry, or he would laugh,
Okay.
or he would crack a joke. And that's true, even in the operation, he was offering...
For the Operation Tornado?
In the operation inside the Taj, he at one point offered dairy milks to everyone.
Okay.
Because he was concerned that the food would be poisoned.
Okay.
So he didn't want anyone to eat from the kitchen. If it's packed, you can't poison it.
Oh, that's cool. So, like, you have told me that like, at certain serious incidents, he would be reacting with just laugh or something.
Or
So, is there
positively.
any particular incident that you want to share that actually surprised you?
Oh, I have one.
Okay.
In the National Defense Academy, one day when he was in NDA, his parents got a call saying, you need to come, we want to complain about Sandeep right now. And
Okay.
Uncle and Amma was so tense, they went to Pune, all the way from Bangalore, to ask, what is the issue? Do you know what he's doing? The GC asked, and they said, what? He said, he's hiding puppies under his bed and taking care of them.
Oh, that's a sweet part to him, actually.
So yeah, this is an example, so patriotic, so this, so that, but he was saving animals all the time.
All right, so he had a very gentle side to him too.
Yeah, he loved animals.
All right. So, anyhow, the movie have been previewed, 10 days before the release itself, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's
So, how is the response? Actually, I'm more interested in knowing about the response from his fellow militants and everyone.
I think it is truly the best film of my career.
All right.
And I'm not saying that because of me, I'm saying it because of the responses people are giving. Not only that, people are actually saying congratulations instead of good luck.
Okay.
People are crying, people are celebrating, people are congratulating, people are singing. We did a screening for Sajid Nadiadwala sir's family and Mahesh Manjrekar sir's family in Bollywood. And imagine film families, we go to film premieres, we're used to that routine.
All right.
For these film families to all hold each other and sing Jana Gana Mana after the film finished, it's not a joke. And I wasn't even there.
Okay.
Someone recorded it and showed it to me.
Okay.
So it's extraordinary the kind of reactions this film is evoking.
Right. And what about his fellow workers? I mean, like, probably the fellow majors and
superior
everyone.
officers, people he saved, commanding officers, junior officers, friends in school, people he met, his principal, so many people.
So is there any special moment that you actually cherish and like hold to your heart?
I think the Pune response went viral.
Okay.
There's actually like millions and millions of people have seen it already.
All right.
I don't know if it's reached Kerala.
Okay.
So in Pune, when we opened the show on Book My Show, it got sold out in 1 hour.
All right.
And after the film finished, I surprised the audience.
All right.
And they were already clapping. And suddenly in the audience, a man from a para special forces veteran commando, he was in a wheelchair. He'd been in a coal mine blast or something like
Okay.
that. So he couldn't walk.
Okay.
He and his wife, a lieutenant colonel, they both came and they were congratulating me and crying. And he was trying to get up and actually salute.
Oh.
And he was talking, he's like, you did it. And he was talking about, rongte khade ho gaye. He's saying that the hair on his arm, he's gotten goosebumps and the hair on his arm is standing.
All right.
And he had tears in his eyes. And when I saw that, I sat in front of him and I held his knee and I said, thank you, sir. You know, that changed my... Is it too early to say it changed my life? But it did.
All right. Okay. So anyway, just last 2 questions before I wrap up. So one more thing. Actually, like, there is certain something that you have been showing others that I genuinely want to watch.
Yeah.
I'm like...
I'm so excited. I'm sorry.
It would be really great if I can just hold it up to you. I'm like, it's not every time that you get to see something like that in person.
I'm sorry if I'm showing it in every interview, and people who see 2 interviews will see me doing the same thing, but I'm really proud.
But like,
and I'm showing
people
off.
would be just love to see it.
So
and this is my personal interest. I really wanted to see it.
This is after the National Security Guard in Mumbai saw the movie.
Okay.
They gave me a medal.
All right.
Because they loved the film so much. So these are the guys who have the same exact job as Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan.
Okay.
And for them to see the film and give us this means a lot to us. This is from the 26th Special Composite Group in Mumbai.
All right.
This has been created, this branch of the NSG has been created specifically because of the Mumbai attacks.
Okay.
Their opening door is called Unnikrishnan Dwar.
Oh, can I just hold it?
It's pretty heavy.
It is. ജീവിതത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും കിട്ടാത്തൊരു ഭാഗ്യമാണ് ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ലൈക്ക് ഐ എം ബ്ലെസ്ഡ് ടു ഹോൾഡ് ഇറ്റ് വിത്ത് മൈ ഹാൻഡ് ആണ് നമുക്ക് ജീവിതത്തിൽ എപ്പോഴും കിട്ടാത്തൊരു ഭാഗ്യമാണ് എല്ലാ മനുഷ്യർക്കും കിട്ടാത്തൊരു ഭാഗ്യമാണ് ആൻഡ് ലൈക്ക് യു ഹാവ് ആക്ച്വലി മെയ്ഡ് മൈ ലൈഫ് ബെറ്റർ താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച് ഐ എം ലൈക്ക് this is one of the most prized moments of my life too.
It's like an Oscar for me.
It definitely is. I can understand.
So that's the thing.
All right. And just final wrap-up question.
Oh, sure.
I heard you terming Major Unnikrishnan as a Suryaputran. So I would just get to have a
That's
view
not
on that.
my
and that's
term.
my
It is because when we spoke to the hostage he saved, he said, I felt like Mahavishnu came and saved me. So Mahavishnu has the the Vishwa Vishnu avataram. It has the halo.
Okay, the aura.
Yeah, so that's why we put so much sun around Major Sandeep. We look at him as Suryaputra. And also it makes sense because Karna was Suryaputra and Karna was so noble. So I look at him like that, yeah.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much. I'm just looking forward to watch the movie in the theatres.
Thank you,
June 3rd in Ada. And like, would we be seeing you anytime soon in Malayalam?
Well, I have been offered in the last 2 months 4 Hindi films and 10 Telugu films, but I have not been offered a Malayalam film. Okay. So I am making my debut in Malayalam with this movie, and I hope you like it.
ഞങ്ങളുടെ മലയാളത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ആര് വിളിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഞാൻ കൂടെ അഭിനയിക്കാൻ വരുമായിരിക്കും.
I really am a fan of Nayanthara, so
okay.
maybe she'll agree.
All right. Thank you so much. So we really hope that we get to see a movie of you with Nayanthara in Malayalam.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate
Thank you so much, and all the very best wishes to you. And what would you like to tell your audience?
I would like to say that after all these experiences of showing the film, we now know that Major is not a film, it's an emotion.
All right.
June 3rd.